the student of class 10. Today we will read from the first book, first slide book, lesson number 5, the 100 Days part first. The issues of racism and classism are raised through the Wanda Petronsky's story. Let's open your book and now read the lesson. Today, Monday, Wanda Petronsky was not in her seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat, the corner of the room where there was most scuffing of feet, most roars of laughter when anyone funny was said, the most mud and dirt on the floor. Wanda Petronsky sat in the next seat of the last row of room number 13, where there sat the rough boys and made always noise. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. Wanda Petronsky was a nice, not a rough and noisy girl. She sat there because somebody, no anybody, ever had heard to smiling loudly or laughing loudly. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in the seat unless it was because she came all the way from Boggin's Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud, but no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky. Once she sat in the corner of the room. Wanda Petronsky came from Bogginside, the place where the poor people live. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours at noon time when they were coming back to school or in the morning early before school began. When groups of 2 or 3 and even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard, nobody, no any student paid attention to Wanda Petronsky except in lunch time or before the school began. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who didn't trace in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda wasn't there. Peggy was the most popular girl in the school. She was pretty. She had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. They had waited for Wanda to have some fun with her, and she just hadn't come. Wanda, Maggie and Paddy noticed on Wednesday because she had made them late to school. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her. Wanda Petronsky, most of the children in room 13 didn't have names like that. They had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith or Ellen. There was one boy named Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. Wanda Petronsky's name was very peculiar in the room number 13. Only one boy was named Billy Bounds, but all the students' name was too easy names such as Helen, Smith or Thomas. Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as they stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the warm, hard ground. Wanda Petronsky had not a real friend, but lot of girls talked to him. Wanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. Wanda, she had said, giving one of her friends a nudge. Tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? 100, Wanda would say. 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. Yeah, 100 all lined up, said Wanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence, making fun of her. The girls asked how many dresses she had. She always replied, 100 dresses. What are they like? All silk. I bet, said Peggy. Yeah, all silk, all colors. Velvet too. Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses. Wanda would repeat his stolidity. All lined up in my closet. Then they had let her go. And then before she had gone very far, they couldn't help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. And when she not go more than some yards, they began to laugh. 100 dresses, obviously. The only dress Wanda had was the blue one. Blue one she wore every day. So why did she say she had 100? What a story. How many shoes did you say you had? 60 pairs all lined up in my closet. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted these all alike. Oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all. Wanda replied them, oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all lined up. Peggy, who had thought of this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. Finally, Wanda would move up to the street, her eyes dull with her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in the funny way she had, finishing the walk to the school alone. She came to school alone, but all the girls made her fun. Peggy was not really cruel. She protected small children from bullies, and she cried for hours if she saw an animal mistreated. If anybody had said to her, don't you think that is a cruel way to treat Wanda, she would have been very surprised. Cruel. Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? Anybody could tell that that was a lie. Why did she want to lie? And she wasn't just an ordinary person else. Why did she have a name like that? Anyway, they never made her cry. If anybody said to Peggy, this is a cruel word, to making fun of her name and poor condition, she left it. As for Maddie, his business of asking Wanda every day how many dresses and how many hats and how many this and how that she had was bothering her. Maddie was poor herself. She usually wore somebody's hand-me-down clothes. Thank goodness she didn't live up in Bogan's height or have a funny name. Sometimes when Peggy was asking Wanda those questions in the mocking, polite voice, Maddie felt embraced and studied the marbles in the palm of her hand, rolling them around and saying nothing herself. Not that she felt sorry for Wanda exactly. She would never have paid any attention to Wanda if Peggy hadn't invented the dresses game. But suppose Peggy and all the others started in on her names. She wasn't as poor as Wanda perhaps, but she was poor. Of course, she would have more sense than to say she had 100 dresses. Still, she would not like for them to begin on her. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Petronsky. Maddie was always embarrassed when her close friend Peggy asked 100 dresses game. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad she had not had to make fun of Wanda. She worked her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly. At times, at that she she wished she had the nerve to write Peggy a note because she knew the never would have the courage to speak right out to Peggy to say, "Hey Peg, let's stop asking Wanda how many dresses she has." When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. Suddenly, she paused and stuttered. She, she pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girl. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on, and Maddie would have to say it was one of Peggy's old ones that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with new trimmings so no one in room 13 would recognize it. Maddie was also wore hand-me-down of the cloth of Peggy, her mother trimming so well that no anyone in the room number 13 recognized it. If only Peggy would decided to her own accord to stop having fun with Wanda, oh well, Maddie ran her hand band through her short blonde hair as though to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. What difference did it make? Slowly Maddie tore into bits the note she had started. She was Peggy's best friend and Peggy was the best liked girl in the whole room. Peggy could not possibly do anything that was really wrong, she thought. Maddie tore in many bits of his note because many of her notes because she knew Peggy was the most liked girl in the room number 13. As for Wanda, she was just the same some girl who lived up on Boggins Heights and stood alone in the schoolyard. She scarcely ever said anything to anybody. The only time she talked was in the schoolyard about her 100 dresses. Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses pale blue with colored trimmings, and she remembered another that was brilliant jungle green with a red sash. You had looked like a Christmas tree in that, the girls had said in pretended admiration. Thinking about Wanda and her 100 dresses all lined up in the closet, Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. For girls, this contest consisted of designing dresses, and for boys, the designing motorboats. Probably Peggy would win the girls' medal. Peggy drew better than anyone else in the room. At least that's what anybody thought. She could copy a picture in magazine or some film star's head so that you could almost tell who it was. Who Maddie was sure Peggy would win. Well, tomorrow the teacher was going to announce the winners. Then they had no. Peggy was the best artist up to making up the head of any film stars or any pictures of magazine. The next day it was drizzling. Maddie and Peggy hurried to school under Peggy's umbrella. Naturally, on a day like this, they didn't wait for Wanda Petronsky on the corner of Albert Street. The street that far, far away under the railroad tracks and up the hill led to Bogan Heights. Anyway, they weren't taking chances on being late today because today was important. Today was near about Tuesday was announced the winners. They have to know it. Do you think Miss Mason will announce the winners today? Asked Peggy. Oh, I hope so. The minute we get in, said Maddie. Of course you will win, Peg. Hope so, said Peggy eagerly. The minute they entered the classroom, they stopped short and gasped. There were drawings all there were drawings all over the room, on every ledge and window sills, dazzling colors and brilliant, lavish design, all drawn on great sheets of wrapping paper. There must have been 100 of them all lined up. These must be the drawing for the contest. They were. Everybody stopped and whistled or murmured admiringly when they saw the 100 dresses after drawing in the room number 13. They murmured and whistling in the astonished. As soon as the class had assembled, Miss Mason announced the winners. Jack Bagel had won for the boys, she said, and his designs for an outboard motor with on exhibition in room 12 along with the sketches by all other boys. Jack Bagel was the winner of the boys and his drawings outboard on the walls of the room number 13. As for the girl, she said, although just one or two sketches were submitted by most girls, one girl and room 13 should be proud of her. This one girl actually drew 100 dresses, all different and all beautiful. In the opinion of the judges, any one of the drawing is worthy of winning the prize. I am very happy to say that Wanda Petronsky is the winner of the girl. Wanda Petronsky has colored 100 dresses, all beautiful in all the colors, and Miss Mason announced that Wanda Petronsky is the winner of the girl medal. Unfortunately, Wanda has been absent from school for some days and is not here to receive the applause that is due to her. Let us hope she will be back tomorrow. Now, class, you may file around the room quietly and look at her exquisite drawing. The children burst into class and even the boys were glad to have a chance to stamp on the floor, but their fingers in their mouth and whistle, though they were not interested in dresses. Look, Peg, whispered Maddie, there's that blue one she told us about. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, said Peggy. And here's that green one, boy. And I thought I could draw. Now, see on the whiteboard, summary of the lesson. The 100 dresses first lesson is written by L. Basor Ister. This is a story based on true experience of the author about a girl who is teased by her classmates because she is different. Wanda Petronsky, a girl who came from the Bogenside, poor part of the town, was the only student in her class with funny Polish name. She was always quiet and she always wore the same faded blue dresses to school. Although she used to claim she has 100 dresses at home all lined up in her closet. The story is told the perspective of one of Wanda's classmates, Maddie, who was the best friend of the main player in the daily taunting and teasing. After Wanda was absent for a few days, all the classmates began to miss and think of Wanda as they had fun. Maddie began to wonder about the girl. She began to think why they started teasing her in the first place. Maddie knew she that she should have stood up to her friend and defend Wanda. She felt guilty for not speaking up, for standing by and allowing her friends to tease Wanda. Maddie and her friend later discovered that Wanda was a very talented artist, that her drawing of 100 dresses has won the school art contest. Now, see the question. Now see the question number 1. Where in the classroom did Wanda sit and why? Answer. Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row because her feet were almost always caked with dry mud. Question number 2. Where did Wanda live? What kind of a place do you think it is? Wanda lived in Bogins Heights. I think it was a poor colony where most of the poor people lived. Question number 3. When and why did Peggy and Maddie notice Wanda's absence? Answer. Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence on Wednesday because they had been waiting for Wanda, but she did not turn up to the school. Question number 4. What do you think to have fun with her means? Answer. To have fun with her means to make fun of her and enjoy laugh at her. Question number 5. In what way was Wanda different from the other children? Answer. Wanda was shy and a quiet girl, who neither laughed nor talked much in class. Unlike all the other students, she wore the same faded blue dress to school every day. Page number 70. Oral comprehension check. Question number 1, 2 and 3 you have to complete as your homework. Now your lesson has completed. Thank you.